Yesterday, the United States saw yet another mass shooting with 10 people, including a police officer, being killed on Monday when a gunman opened fire in a supermarket in the Colorado College city of Boulder, in one of several mass shootings in the US over the last week. I believe it's 7 over 7 days, assuming that you have a fairly restrictive definition of what a mass shooting is. We have to in the United States to make the term have any meaning whatsoever because gun violence is so pervasive. Now, the situation is, of course, developing fast. The suspect is in custody, but authorities have not shared any information on his identity, because of course it's a him, the type of weapon used or any possible motive. Although one senior law enforcement source told CNN the weapon used in the shooting was an AR-15 style rifle. Now we don't know that for sure, but it's a mass shooting, so there's a pretty good shot. We've heard that the suspect is a 21-year-old that lived in a suburb near that area, although I don't know if that's considered 100% confirmed at this point. And so we will be finding out more about the identities of those who were killed, regrettably, in this tragic shooting. But we should also understand, as we'll get into throughout the course of the hour, that this exists in the context that the massacre at the King Super store comes less than a week after shootings at 3 spas in the Atlantic area left 8 people dead. And that is 7 shootings in which at least 4 people were injured or killed. And we do this thing, Amanda, where we have to be very selective in terms of which acts of horrendous mass violence actually merit national attention, because the news would just be those if we paid equal attention to all of them. But anyway, what did you think about this most recent tragic event?
Well said, my gosh. I mean, I feel like there could be right now a script that you could just like some AI could just print it out, which is like, this is what the media is gonna say. This is what our politicians are gonna say. This is like, and oh man, have you seen those Onion articles? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, where the headline is the same exact script. And I
believe it's only nation where this happens can't tell how it happened again, or something like that. Yeah.
That's exactly that headline. My God, I obviously wasn't even done processing the last mass shooting, and I know we're gonna go into it later, but I woke up and I was like, I don't even know if it's desensitization at this point, right? Like, I'm just so heartbroken. And how did you feel? I feel like I'm looping in the same loop, which is like, okay, let's look at the news. Oh my God, let's learn about the victims. Let's learn about this. What are we gonna do about it? It's the same conversation. So how did you feel?
I mean, obviously a horrendous tragedy, although I'm not gonna lie to the audience. I am and have been for so long so desensitized, obviously. And in the exact way that you so rightly point out, not just about the event, which it's horrible enough that the event happened, it's horrible enough that one could become desensitized to it. But it almost feels like, and we talk about this a lot, and we're gonna demonstrate it on the show today, it almost feels like a weird form of being in the Matrix and seeing the code. You can see every branching path of how every single organization and individual is going to respond to this, myself included. I know exactly what we're gonna say. We're gonna acknowledge in real time that it's pointless, that it's futile, that we've been through this so many times, but we're going to have to do it because I don't know any other way to respond. So anyway, look, we're gonna say that it's horrendous. We're going to have a motivation, by the way. And motivations don't often, I think, get discussed enough. Whatever I say, whatever you say, I can only speak for myself, but I assume the motivation is, wouldn't it be nice to have fewer mass shootings in the future? But I can guarantee that there are many people who greet the news of another mass shooting, and that is not the thing that's lurking in the back of their mind, regardless of how they responded. In a tweet recently, I broke down some of the ways that right-wingers often respond. Sometimes they just duck their head down and don't say anything. Sometimes they offer thoughts and prayers. Sometimes they just come and defend the guns. But the goal of all of those is unified. It is not stopping mass shootings in the future. That is not the thing that they're worried about. They're worried about gun control. And it's sort of an irrational fear anyway, because we live in America. They're never gonna pass any gun control. But that is the fear. That's what they're worried about. And we're gonna demonstrate that in a minute, but I wanted to give you another opportunity to jump in.
No, I think so much about the rhetoric that plays, especially for people who feel so strongly about it, isn't the actual policy, it's their identity. And so, how can we actually say, hey, these are the facts, that's why the facts don't matter for so many people. And I don't know if you have a lot of international friends, but every single time this happens, I hear from my international friends and they're like, what is going on? And so have that perspective a little bit and be able to like think outside of a very American framework for a second, has helped me in some way process through this and kind of get myself outside of that matrix. But yeah, we're still working through it. And I know everyone is hurting so badly. I really, really hope that one day we can sit down and have a conversation with people to move forward.
Yeah, and I don't want to go off on too many tangents because there's so much that we have to talk about, but I just get so frustrated, like seemingly common sense things that one might say. And again, I don't know some of the details of this. We don't know for sure exactly what weapon they had, but I do know that it doesn't matter for some people. If the dude filmed himself immediately beforehand saying, I'm doing this because I believe that more people need to die, and isn't it great that we have guns? And it's so awesome that I was able to get an AR-15. I'm gonna kill so many more people with that. If that came out, it wouldn't change a single mind. So when I say, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we're gonna live in a country where frequently people, generally younger white males, decide that they want to shoot as many people as possible, shouldn't we make that tough? Shouldn't we make it so that they have to resort to weapons that aren't really good at killing lots of people? And so I'll tweet something like that, which seems sort of like a benign common sense thing to say. And someone will respond with, if they want the weapon, they'll get the weapon. Okay, but let's actually follow that logic. So the idea is there's no point in banning an AR-15 because you'll just get one if you want one. Try that in practice, how easy it is. But let's say, okay, an AR-15, okay, but what about something better? Let's say I want an M51 crew, like belt-fed machine gun. That's even better at killing a lot of people. Well, by your logic, I can just get one, right? I'll just cruise down to Walmart or something. I want a tank, I want an RPG, I want a flamethrower. Can I just get these things? Well, thanks to Elon Musk, I can get a flamethrower. But aside from that, can I just get these things? No, because it's inconvenient, and it should be. At the very least, even if somehow these weirdo young white supremacists were capable of managing the black market of illegal weapons, let's make it take a while, because then at least we might be able to catch them. But there's no point in having this conversation because nobody that says they're just gonna get it is actually thinking about that. What they're thinking is, I wanna be able to get it. I wanna keep the ones I have, I wanna get more eventually. And so it's so every part of this, Amanda, is so frustrating. I apologize. This is literally the first thing you come on the show to talk about.
But so many people relate to you, and like speak it, because people. I mean, we all feel so really isolated right now, right? We're at home, movement restrictions, whatever. So yeah, please say it, because the rest of the country can live vicariously through us right now.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.